In this tutorial, let's use Adobe Dimensions to mock up some of these business cards. Now these business cards are really nice and slick looking. They've got a front and a back design, but I want to be able to see what it would look like, not necessarily if they're printed, but just have a really good, cool, three-dimensional presentation for my portfolio. So I'm going to start by jumping into Adobe Dimensions and creating a new document. From here, we want to be able to place our cards on a plane that's the same size as the card we need. So to do this, I'm going to choose the plane object and drag it in. You can see by default it's going to put it on the ground plane that we have. Let's see if we can move it around. So I'm going to bring it forward a little bit, maybe rotate it and pick it up. Let's bring it towards me so I can see it. Now with it selected, we also need to make it the correct size that our cards need to be. I know that my cards are 3.5 by 2 inches. So over here on our properties panel with the object still selected, I can set my scale or my size of it to be 3.5. Make sure to type in IN for inches. And then another dimension, in this case we'll do it for the Z-axis of 2 IN. Now this gives me a nice plane that I can work in. Hey, if I need to rotate it, let's see if I can rotate it around to give it the actual size that we're in. We'll bring it forward just a bit more. Let's bring it up closer so we can see it. And I want to make a duplication of this frame. So with it still selected, I can go up to Edit and Duplicate. This will make a copy of it right on top of there. So let's move it away. And let's place it somewhere else, and I'm going to rotate it to a different plane as well. Again, it takes a little bit of time to set everything up, but once these are done, whoops, looks like I did it multiple times. There's this one. But once we get it set up and together, now we can start placing them exactly where they need to go. I want to have these overlapping one another, and I like the idea of seeing the little cast shadow that's on this. So one of these can be the front, and the other can be the back side of the card that I'm working on. There's that. Now let's change around our environment. I'm going to move these down just a bit more. Now let's do something for the background. As far as the background goes, I'm going to choose my environment, and I'm going to set my background to be just a solid color. Kind of like the idea of the red, so I'm going to make mine red. There we go, and maybe I'll rotate this just a bit more and place it there. Now if I want to add a graphic to my model, I can go over to my scene and select the appropriate plane. In this case, I've got plane 3. Under the actions, this is where we can change up our material that we're working on. Right now there's just a base color for our material. If I click on the base color, I can change the image and loaded image that I've already got. So I'm going to select a file. And in my case, I'm going to do the business card front JPEG. It's nice and placed on there, and since it's the same proportions as my card, it should fit nicely on here. Let's do the same for the back. Choose the second one. This is plane 2. Again, click on the materials, change the base color to an image, and then select the file that you want. In this case, it'll be the business card for the back. Now that I've got both of those on there, they look really good. Maybe one final thing I can do as an added touch is to show what this would look like as having rounded corners. So with the object selected, one of the things you can add to your plane is a corner radius. If you click on the number, you can drag it, and you can see how it'll start to round off those particular edges. And so we'll just give it a simple little rounded edge of about 1 or 2 centimeters. Let's do 1 centimeter. Now that that's done, let's play around with our lighting. I can click on Environment Light, and I can change the intensity of it, make it lighter or darker. I'm going to keep it about 100%, but maybe I will rotate them around so I can get a little bit more of a sheen on one and the other. That looks pretty good there. Finally, I can colorize my light and give it whatever color overcast that I want from here. In my case, I'm going to keep it just a white light so we won't have to colorize it at all. The final thing I need to do is to render it. I can choose Render at the very top, and again, we'll give it a name, so this will be our business cards. The quality we're going to set to a medium quality this time, and let's render it as a PNG file. Press render, and give it a second to render and pull everything together. There, now that it's finished rendering, took about 1.5 minutes to do, I've got a nice high quality image that I can upload to our Moodle page.